I'm Vic from Spira Fire Protection. We had the contract for the design and installation of the automatic sprinkler and standpipe and fire hose system for this building here. Our contract starts here on the incoming water service. It goes out to the street, Young Street. This is a backflow preventer. The backflow preventer has an incoming control valve, an outgoing control valve. Every sprinkler standpipe control valve in the building is connected to the fire alarm panel, is wired to the fire alarm panel to provide a trouble signal in the event you attempt to close them. This is the basement level sprinkler zone control valve. This is the basement level sprinkler water flow switch. Sprinkler water flow switches are connected to the fire alarm panel. In the event that a sprinkler head activates and there's water flowing through the system, in about 45-second time, the fire alarm panel will activate into alarm. I'm assuming the fire alarm system is connected to the fire department by a central station monitoring company, who will in turn call the fire department to dispatch the fire department out here. The building is zoned sprinkler systems per the floor, so there's one for the ground floor, second floor, third floor, and fourth floor, the same arrangement. They're located in the building. I'm going to show you where. This feed main here goes up. It's basically our common water supply that goes through the building to feed these other sprinkler zones, plus the fire hose standpipe system, which I'm going to show you where the fire hoses are located. In the event of an accidental discharge, and an accidental discharge would be knocking a sprinkler head off by carrying a ladder down the hall and breaking open a sprinkler, that would be an accidental discharge. Ideally, you could run to this room and close either one of these control valves. Is going to shut off any new water from flowing into the sprinkler or standpipe system. So it takes the guesswork out of, because you're going to be in a panic mode, which floor you're on. You could go close that zone control of that floor, but I find it's easier for people to remember the main shut off, and we shut everything off. This is the main drain valve. By opening this valve, it's going to discharge the water that's in the system outside to a safe location. It'll take the majority of the water out of the piping, but it will not take it all out. So that's for an accidental discharge. In the event there's a fire, say in the kitchen or a storage room or a garbage room where there's a fire been ignited, the sprinklers have come on and extinguished the fire, and you see the water running, you think you've got water damage going on, do not shut the sprinkler system off unless you've been instructed to do so by the fire department, platoon chief, or fire department staff. If that fire reignites and you've already shut the sprinklers off, you've become responsible for that fire from there on, and that's not a good thing. So, accidental discharge and fire are two different things. Unlike the movies, sprinkler systems don't activate the way you see on TV in every television commercial and movie that's out there. Each sprinkler head is basically its own thermostat. They have a glass bulb in them. The glass bulb is designed to break open at a predetermined temperature. This particular one is a blue glass bulb, which is 286 degrees. Most of the sprinklers in here are the red glass bulbs, which is 155, which is their standard head. They'll break open at 155. Unlike what I said in the movies, they don't all go off. Only the sprinkler head that is affected by the heat to the point where it'll break open. So if the smoke alarms go off because you burn the toast or whatever, every sprinkler head in this building is not going to go off. Key things to remember with these: this building's brand new now, everything's freshly painted, but years down the road when you're doing renovations and you're painting drywall, etc., sprinkler heads cannot be painted. Once they've been painted, they must be removed and replaced. Another thing is don't use them for coat hangers to hang clothing, Christmas decorations, any kind of seasonal decorations, flowers, flower pots, etc. You break open that glass bulb and you have water. So, one of the other things to remember, cold weather months, don't prop open any stairwell doors or any rooms to the exterior that have sprinklers within, to the point where you could potentially freeze the piping within the room. If a glass of water would freeze on the floor or the ceiling, so might the sprinkler piping. So just don't prop open doors in cold weather months. I mentioned getting a fire safety logbook for the maintenance staff. It's one of the first things they should do. In there gives the daily, weekly, monthly semi-annual, annual requirements for any of their fire safety devices in here, from fire extinguishers to the fire hoses to the sprinkler systems to fire hydrant controls. It's all listed in there with the routine inspection dates. As far as our stuff goes, it must be inspected and tested at least annually in accordance with the Ontario Fire Code, and that work should be performed by competent staff, or not staff, but contractors. This is a typical fire hose cabinet. They're located strategically throughout the building on every floor level, typically within 5 meters of an exit way. Fire hoses are for fire department use and trained personnel only. We're instructed to never teach building staff or residents how to use a fire hose. The intent is, in the event of a fire, pull a pull station, exit the building, and call 911. You're not to use the fire hoses, they're for fire department use. Each fire hose cabinet happens to have a fire extinguisher in it as well. Okay, we're standing on the 3rd floor elevator lobby, just to the north side of the elevators. Behind the wall here is a shaft that runs from the basement, ground, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th floor. The common sprinkler supply riser comes up in the shaft, and at each floor level it comes out onto the floor. So above the ceiling here we have the 3rd floor zone control valve, flow switch, test and drain. This is typical location for the ground, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.